Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alicia Elizabeth and I'm so excited that you've decided to join me here for another Wealthy Wednesday. If you are a first-time viewer, hello. If you are a returning wealthy person, welcome back. To both of you, get comfortable, grab a snack, get your paper and pens. I think we have a ton of things to talk about. I don't think we do have a ton of things to talk about. As you can see, I am sporting green again. I don't know how many more times I can do this for you all, but if I can, I will continue to wear green. I think it's kind of funny that it just keeps happening that way. But let's get right into all of the things that I have planned for us to talk about. So in the last video, I announced that I reached my emergency fund. Just wanted to show you all the chart. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I want to remind you that Dave Ramsey says that we save for three things: purchases, wealth, and savings. And if I'm going to be completely honest, you all, this has just been transforming my entire way of thinking because I've said this and I'm going to keep saying it. I have worked for years. Since I've been able to have a job legally, I have had 2 jobs at one time, almost all the time. And so I'm just super encouraged and frustrated with the lack of information that I've had while working, because I keep thinking, okay, where would I be if I had known these things, prior, right? Or earlier on in life. And then I keep combating that thought with, but you have the skill set, you've done it before, do it again. And so just out the jump of this video, I just want to help you shape your mind around what we're talking about. Money has passed through your hands in abundance for years. I was telling my sister the other day, I'm like, if we're going to be honest, we've had millions in our hands before. So it's not about experiencing millions and billions. It's about being able to generate that kind of money and keep that kind of money. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think that is one of the things that keeps me going, is thinking about the fact that I'm already a millionaire. I'm already a billionaire. And I'm not trying to get to these titles for selfish gain, but more so as a believer and as someone who is a teacher and who is hardworking, money shouldn't be this foreign concept or something that feels so out of reach. And so I remind myself that it is a part of who I am because God has allowed me to, hold and give thousands and millions of dollars throughout my lifespan thus far. So he'll do it again, right? Since we have the strategy. And so I have the emergency fund. This is super awesome because I'm now experiencing this behavior shift of, you have it, but don't think about having it. This is not money for you to use when you mismanage your actual money, right? That's the first thing. This is not money to lend out to people. This is, especially with me announcing my finances so publicly, this is not, something that people can tap into because they know you have it. This is a new savings in case you experience a rainy day. And so it's not even for you to touch for any reason. Don't even give yourself a justifiable reason to touch it unless things like, your car breaks down, you have to go to the hospital and the copay, or, something for your house, emergency funds. Could I have avoided this? You understand what I'm saying? And so after the emergency fund, I talked to you all about the snow debt method, which I erased that board of fake numbers. But I do want to tell you that I have sat down with all of my debt, and I'm gonna be honest, I debated sharing it. I know I said that I would. One, because I'm like, I don't want people to measure where I am with where they are. May that discourage them or encourage them, right? But then I said to myself, we're gonna share this number because you said you would. In addition, it's not your final destination. You are not your debt, especially when you're tackling it. So one, there's nothing to be ashamed of. And two, this is where people are meeting you. That's not where they're always going to find you. Okay. So I created a second board and I have these boards again because I'm a teacher. And when we went to online schooling, I was like, I need these type of things at home in the event I have to teach and give examples. And it just so happened that I'm also tutoring, so it works perfectly. But on this board, I wrote, I am debt free, okay? I saw this on Instagram where someone wrote like a word of some sort and they color it in. The thing about this board is it's gonna take a little longer to color in than it did that one because the letters make up my debt. So my total debt is $58,181. Now, after sitting down with my debt, only $4,000 is personal debt. The rest of that is school debt. And I'm saying that because it's a small moment for me to be like, okay, good job, Alicia. Like, you haven't really accrued any debt for real. Like, the debt I've accrued, some of those are like medical bills, things of that sort, the $4,000. So to think that majority of this $58,000 is from schooling kind of annoys me, but as the first generation college graduate in my family, I'll take it. Because that means that since I was the first to go to college and finish, I was the first to learn just all of the processes first. And so sometimes being the first to do a thing means that you kind of go through obstacles that those who follow after you should not experience if you turn around and educate them properly. And so I'll take that one, right? I'm thankful for this $58,000 because it is attached to a lot of things that God has given me the opportunity to experience. Even if I'm not utilizing it or don't feel like it was worth it, I understand the worth of it, right? Okay. So it says I am debt free. You probably can't really see it, but basically each little dash will make up $1,000, and then at the top there's a $300. So each letter is about $5,300 worth. So when a letter is completely full, that means I have saved or put towards my debt $5,300, and so that makes up I am debt free. So I'm sharing that with you all because I'll be filling that in through the process. I don't even want to say a slow process because I believe that God can do a ton of things and just surprise me. So as I color in the letters, just understand that in the increments, it's $1,000. And then if the letter is completely full, that means I've saved $5,300. Another update. Yesterday, I paid off two of my personal bills. I did exactly what I told you all to do. I began calling these debtors. Thank you for the lady who replied to my last video. And I spoke with one. I didn't get to call all of them because I tutor in the morning, so I was calling them in between my pockets of work. And I was able to get a debt cut in half. So I called and I was like, hey, I see that I have this debt. It's showing up on my credit report. And I wanted to just, talk about it. And at first they were like, we can shave off 25%. And so I was like, is that all you all can shave off? Is there anyone who I can speak with that could possibly shave off more? So the guy types and he was like, we're willing to shave off 50%. And I took it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is called settlement on a debt. And it means that you will not get as many points on your credit, but you will still get points. So hypothetically, if that debt was 25 points, your settlement could range anywhere from 25 to 21, maybe even less. It depends on the debt on your credit report. So I'm like, okay, I'll take, the lower amount of points because I'm building this and there are several things I know that I can do to build my credit. So right now we're doing financial things with my money. I'll take the 50% cost for this debt. So that I'm beginning the snowball method, and I'm already seeing the benefits of taking time to call these debtors and to see what they can do for me. I'm curious, I'm interested in if they're doing things, especially given that COVID is happening. So again, after you make your list of debts, I would encourage you to take some time to call them and see if they are making any accommodations, especially with COVID happening. You being willing to pay a debt or two might mean that they're willing to work with you. So that's another update. Another update is that I told you all I was eating the foods in my house, and that's going really well. Although I must admit that I am kind of ready to spruce it up. Again, it's only been about 2 weeks, I think, of me eating what's in my house. I'm going with the mindset of I have more than enough. That's been my mindset since I've started this challenge, since I've announced this you know, trying to become debt free, trying to gain wealth, understand money, challenge or process, whatever you want to call it. And so I have yesterday, for the past 2 days, I ate some tuna for lunch and it was really good. But I want to just say, I'm not encouraging people to get into this mindset of like struggle mode to save money. But I want to tell you that sometimes it does mean sacrifices, which look like you eating what's in your house. And that shouldn't even be seen as a sacrifice. That should be considered normal. But purchase things that you enjoy eating so that eating at home won't be a problem, right? And so that's been good. I've managed to cut my grocery bill down to almost $50 a week. It's only been 2 weeks. By doing that. And so I'm still trying to aggressively clean out my fridge and my cabinets for foods that I could be eating, and then maybe go to the store and purchase within a $50 a week budget. That's kind of a stretch. A lot of people say 75 is a good amount, but I'm thinking like, what can be my, not bare bone, but like minimal grocery haul where I still enjoy food? Because in hindsight, depending on what you eat, I don't know what type of foods you eat. A lot of foods, great meals don't cost a ton of money if you're cooking. I don't know. So that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to update you all on that. Lastly, the topic of this video is for singles. Single meaning that you are not married. Okay, now if you got a boo thing, that's between you and your boo thing. But I feel like a lot of my viewers are single people. If you are married or you're a parent and would like for me to tell you some of the things that Dave says regarding that, comment below. I'm happy to do that in my next video. But according to the people who do watch this video, I want to tell you a couple things that he says where he was stepping on my neck and I'm like, Dave, thanks, enough. And so the first thing that Dave says is that for single people, it's really easy for us to find ourselves in bad spots because we don't have accountability at home. And so that looks like if you're married and you go shopping, you can't really come in the house with those bags without someone asking you, what'd you get and how much did you spend, and joint accounts so they can check it on their phone. When you're single, you can kind of go out and have a field day, whether it's shopping therapy or, you know, just because, and no one's in the house to actually check what you're doing with your finances. And so I must say that I'm guilty of that. There's been many times where I was in a funk or just felt like treating myself and went out and was swipe or keep swiping, okay? And it felt good when I came home to have those new nice things, but no one knew that I dropped $400 or $500 that day. And no one was challenging those purchases. And so Dave says, if there's no one else depending on your income, it's easy to let busyness keep you from balancing your checkbook, let alone doing a written plan for your money every month. The problem with this is that for all the activity, you're not going anywhere, you're just treading water. So he says things like it's easy to purchase pizza and get your dry cleaning done versus cooking and doing your own laundry. In addition, he has this syndrome called I owe it to myself, where he says that singles will likely go out to eat and go to the movies and places that make them feel better because they're single, and not wanting to have to deal with the fact that they're by themselves, as an I owe it to myself experience that will keep them in debt or keep them from seeing their money. And so to the people who are watching this video who do not live with their partner or do not have a partner, I want to just caution you that being solo and trying to save money can be difficult. And so he makes a few suggestions for people who are single. First and foremost, we need to write a budget every month. In addition, we need to find an accountability partner. The budget is you telling your money where to go, and it's you putting your future self in check. A budget is only as great as your discipline, though. He does mention the benefits of a budget, but I want to tell you that as someone who used to write budgets, I knew when I was saying like, okay, save this much money. If I went shopping that day, you better know that I know I have $200 going to my savings, $50 going to my savings, whatever the number is. And I'm like, I don't want to save this week. I want to get this dress. And now I'm taking from, what should have been in my savings. So that budget is pointless if you're not going to adhere to it, okay? He says for the accountability partners, he says, in order for it to work, this has to be someone who loves you enough to hurt your feelings at times. If that's what is needed to really help you. And so I haven't found an accountability partner just yet. And I have people in my life who are holding me accountable, but like someone who actually says, you know, how much did you spend this week, or what have you purchased this week? And who will go through my numbers with me, and who will tell me like, this is pointless, this is a stupid choice, you need to return that. But I am looking for that. That is what I think I'm going to be seeking out in the next couple weeks. Someone who's willing to commit to that kind of work. Not just someone who's pocket watching, but really like assessing my spending and why I spend and getting to the root of it. So if you have those kind of people in your life, just a heads up, go ahead and reach out to them. It also was a little sad to think that like, it might be hard to find an accountability partner because not everyone wants to work on their finances. And he says you want it to be someone who has money or someone who has shown a great deal of discipline with their finances and things of the sorts. And so I'm like, I love my people, right? Love my community, love my family, but I don't know who is in the same boat as I am in. As far as working on their finances in such a way that we can have these like chin tapping conversations. And so again, I'm sharing that with you because it is something I'm going to be doing behind the scenes, and I want to share all my gems of things you could be doing as well as you try to get to wealth. And so I believe that's all my updates for today. I would have been in my office space, but I have some things going on over there that I don't want to be displayed on camera just yet. And so if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Anything that you think you want to see covered on the Wealthy Wednesday series, mention it below. Again, as I learn, I will share. Sometimes I'll just get on here to tell you all about experiences I'm having, but I'll always be keeping you all up to date. What you can know for certain right now is that I am aggressively working on my debt. So I will be filling out this I am debt-free board. My hope is to update you all on it monthly since the numbers are a little bigger, right? It took me a little bit to get here, and so since those are being filled out by the thousands, it may take me a little while to get there as well, but I would like to update you all on that board at least once a month. Now that we know my numbers, we know that this board exists, and I'll tell you what's working and what's not. Last thing before I let you go, while I was thinking about this debt number that I'm trying to tackle, here's an aha moment that I've had with myself. I do have a part-time job and I am tutoring. But if I want to aggressively attack this debt, outside of just finding ways to get money, I am now challenging myself to get large sums of money. Because I realized that the debt-free process takes longer if we're not making money. I get that we have jobs where we are making $10, $12, $14, $15 an hour, and that helps. Do not belittle any income you can get. But in my head, something went off that was like, you need to be making more money, like at all your jobs. There are people who have this kind of debt and tackle it faster, not because they're more disciplined, but because they're bringing them more money. And so on top of trying to be debt free, I will be behind the scenes aggressively working on my streams of income and just ways to make more money, because $58,000 is an amount that some people pay off in 6 months or a year. I've seen it. If you look at debt-free posts, people are paying off larger amounts of money in less time than I was envisioning. And so on the board, I have my start date. I thought I put a goal date down and I didn't. I think I'm going to be thinking about a goal date to finish it, but I'm going to do some research. I'm going to give myself a month to see what I can do to bring in money, and then it's go time. So yeah, let's do this. I didn't say this when I started, but I will say this at the end. I don't know about you, but I woke up feeling really wealthy today. I will see you all same time, same place next week, a little wealthier than we are today. Bye.